Patrick Cook here. Thanks for joining me in another Mandelbulb 3D gotcha session. This is kind of a strange one. This is an irritating little gotcha. Like, why didn't they think of that when they first developed the Mandelbulb 3D? But whatever happened, there was some oversight. And the question comes up a number of times, and I remember wrestling with this myself when I first encountered it, a couple of years ago, and people have actually contacted me saying, "How do I delete a formula?" All right. Well, what I have found is about the only way to do it is let me demonstrate it to you. So let's just take, this is the standard default formula that comes up. I've got formula 1 and I've got formula slot number 2. Let's just throw anything into that. Let's just put an amazing box into it. I'm not really concerned with how it looks. That's not the issue. The question is, let's say that you didn't want that amazing box in after all. All right, you want to take that out, okay? Now, there's a couple different ways of looking at this. You could assign another formula. Let's just say I want to put amazing surf in there, like that. All right, re-render it. I get something different. So method number 1 of removing a formula is to simply put another formula in there. All right. Now, the other way of removing a formula is to go in here and look around in the menu and see if you can find an empty formula slot. All right, and I am not finding one. All right. Now, there was a person that was telling me that this is how they remove it, all right? And I advised to not rely upon that method. And the reason for that is, as you can see here, there are no empty formula slots. Formula items in the drop-down menu. There are none for me. There are no empty, okay. And the reason that there are no empty drop-down formulas for me is because my particular Mandelbulb application is properly installed, and all of the formulas are listed properly. It's important to keep in mind that this particular, all of these drop-down lists here are actually formed as soon as the Mandelbulb application starts up. And what the Mandelbulb code does is it runs out to the installation folder, or it runs out to where the directories are, okay? And it says, where are the formulas? And in this particular case, this is the default, the installation folder. It says, all of the formulas are found in this folder. And then what it does is it loads these drop-down menus based upon the formulas that it finds in the formulas folder. If you have a formula that is damaged, the file is damaged, it may not recognize the formula as being a proper format and give you a blank entry. It's actually a failed formula. Now, if you have one of those empty formula lists in the menu, and you load that in, all right, that will appear to be empty, but it's actually just the name wasn't properly formed, and you don't know what the state of the properties are. So basically, you may actually be adding a corrupt formula to your project by using an empty formula menu slot. Okay, so don't do that. Don't do that. Not a good idea. Now, what I have found is, let me get something back in here for you. I don't have an undo. It's like they hadn't thought of the concept of the undo. So I'm just going to put that back in here so that we can have a talking point. I got two formulas. Doesn't matter what hybrid mode I'm in. It still applies. Two formulas. Okay. All right. Like I said before. All right. You can pick a different formula and overwrite that one. Not an issue. That works fine. But if I want to get rid of that formula number 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever entirely, what I have found that the only thing that works is to highlight the whole thing, do the back key, and do the enter key. Now that removed the formula from that slot. Okay. All right. Let's put it back in. I'm just going to put anything back in. Let's put in Formula 3, let's just put anything in. We don't care what it looks like over here. That's not our issue right here. All right, so I've got 3. All right, now let's just say that for whatever reason, I don't want any, I don't want any formula in slot number 2. I only want that formula, BT2 Pine and integer power. I don't want anything in formula slot number 2. Let's just say, okay. So now what I can do is I can come in here, I hit the delete key, and I hit the enter key. That removed the formula from slot number 2, okay. We still have it in slot number 3. All right. Now what's interesting about the Mandelbulb is that when I render these, it doesn't fault because it's missing a formula. It actually only assembles the Mandelbulb based upon the 2 formulas that I do have assigned. It's like internal to the code. It basically says if there's no formula there, don't actually try to render it. So I'll just render it. So that is integer power and BT2 Pine. And I can prove this, okay, if you just take a visual memory of this. I'm going to come to formula number 3, and I'm going to use this button to move that formula to the next slot, which is what these buttons do. All right, so formula number 3, BT2 Pine, is going to move over to slot number 2 when I hit this button right here. Boom. Okay. All right. So BT2 Pine is now assigned to formula slot number 2. Formula slot number 3 is empty. Let's render this out, and I will get exactly the same image. All right. Good. So the way to get rid of or delete a formula from a formula slot is to hit the backspace, highlight it, backspace key, enter key. All right, and the formula is gone. Even if you were to remove a formula on the internal, all right, between 2 other formulas, it's okay. Mandelbulb will survive it, and it won't try to render a formula that doesn't exist. And just to prove that, all right, I've just moved formula 2 over to slot number 3. Formula 2 is empty. Render, I get the exact same thing. Okay? All right, so this particular gotcha is only describing what appears to be an oversight by the developers, who probably assumed that if you've got a formula in there and you don't want that formula, I think maybe they assumed, well, you're just going to come in here, pick a different formula, and you're all set. That works perfectly fine. But that's not always the case. Sometimes you literally do want to remove that formula and empty that formula slot altogether. I might add that this reset button up here does not do that for you. This reset button eliminates all the formulas and returns the application to the default integer power. So this reset button here is not going to eliminate one particular formula. You would think that it might, but it doesn't. All right, and I'll just prove it to you. All right, so let's just, formula slot number 2, we have amazing surf 2. All right, BT2 Pine in slot number 3. Slot number 1 is integer power. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to hit this reset button. All right, let's hit it now. Done. Now integer power in slot number 1. Slot number 2 is empty. Slot number 3 is empty. We had stuff in there before. Now they're empty. Empty, empty, empty. So what this reset did is it eliminated all your formulas and put integer power in slot number 1. That's not what you want when you want to delete just one formula from a formula slot. Okay? So just in summary, this particular gotcha is just basically an oversight, appears to be an oversight by the developers who forgot to give us some sort of a reset button for the currently selected formula slot. The clean way to do it, that I've never had any problems with, is to simply highlight it, backspace, enter key, and the formula is gone, and we're nice and clean. If you see a formula slot, a formula menu item that's empty, that's not necessarily going to work for you. Okay? All right. So you got 3 choices. You can either overwrite the formula with another one, you can highlight, backspace, and enter, or you could hit the reset in here, which will eliminate all of the formula slots, assignments, and set you back to integer power. Okay? All right, so I hope this helps in your productivity. Now you know how to delete a formula assignment and to do it as properly as you can, given that we don't have a particular function, a button that's just does that for us. Okay? We just have to know how to work with some of the quirks of the Mandelbulb3D fractal generator. And I'm not complaining, because the gold that I can extract from this application in terms of graphics and animations is well worth any minor little conveniences like that. And I hope you feel the same way. All right, it's enough for now. I'll see you in another gotcha. I got a couple more in mind. We'll catch you later. Take care.